For more than 50 years, we've been pretending to send things to the moon, and we've done quite well at pretending that we're going there and doing these things, other than some few minor mistakes that have really exposed the fraud. But here lately, Israel is trying to become the fourth country if they can beat India, who was also in some sort of a space race that we didn't even know existed until current times. But here is their bird nest of wires that will be wrapped in foil for safekeeping so that it doesn't fall apart when it lands. But that's not the most impressive part about this thing. Let's look at the impressive camera this thing has attached to it. It's a camera, the exact one you see here. They have somehow mounted this thing to where it can take some cool photos. And let's look at these pictures of Earth, because here's one of them, here's another, and another, and a further away shot of Earth. But if you aren't very good at paying attention and investigating the details, you would not catch the fact that this picture should probably look like this. And the quality of the Earth in this picture should match the one in this picture. But it doesn't, because it should. It's the same camera. But it's definitely not matching up. And the sunlight on this flag, or banner, is darker than the sunlight on this flag. Maybe it was cloudy in space that day, I'm not really sure, but that should not be happening with the same camera and the same sun from deep space. Shouldn't happen. And the angles should also never change. I get it, the camera might be set to swivel a little bit, I don't know, but there definitely should not be a perfect square around the circular Earth that we see again here, as we have seen many times before. But I know many of you will say this is JPEG compression, that's all it is, that makes this perfect square around the circular Earth. But that's not what's really odd. Let's look at the lines when you adjust the levels. These lines should not go behind the Earth and behind the banner and behind the other elements, but they do. It's as if these other elements have been pasted on in front of them. So you have these perfectly vertical lines. And just like in the first picture we looked at in another video, those lines are there, they go behind the globe, they reappear at the bottom of the globe. That's just odd. That should definitely not happen in a photo. The lines would be in front of all of the objects, if anything. But if all of this isn't convincing enough that there's fraud, look at this shot of the sunrise you see here. Nothing out of the ordinary until you realize that the same exact lens now has a yellow haze around it. As if they've added some sort of special filter. This haze wasn't there before, and they are in the vacuum of space. And then you see the leg just shoot out, and it all happens within one frame. You can see here, it just pops into existence. Not there, then it's there. So very, very cool photos of Earth that are super fake, horribly fake. And it's sad that we are buying this. People think, well, Israel, that's God's people. God's people are all around the earth. They will be gathered up in the end. There is no specific place where his people are just located and everyone else is not his people. Okay, these people are lying. They're using the name Bereshit, which is basically the first words in the Bible, to deceive us. Very sad that they're doing that, similar to the Apollo astronauts reading the Bible on their way to the moon. But there's a reason that SpaceX, NASA, China, India, Israel are all of a sudden in a space race to go to the moon. And it's not to go there and set up a base. It's to show us what Earth looks like. The same mission they had with our first space race. It's not going to change. SpaceX sending artists to the moon is a joke. They're not going to send real people like you and I. Just actors and Illuminati puppets. This whole world is a stage. People are being deceived. Our children, our parents, our grandparents. There's some major deceptions out there. And the reason that I keep trying to expose a lot of this isn't because I want to entertain anyone or anything like that. Yes, it can be funny at times when they mess up, but the purpose behind this lie is for spiritual reasons, There is some financial gain to those involved, but that's not the real reason. It's a lot deeper than that. I'm going to work on answering the why one more time. I don't feel like I did a good enough job answering that my first time around because I was skating around some of the truths in hopes that I wouldn't lose people along the way. But the truth needs to be told. We're definitely getting that out there very soon. But just wanted to point out the recent fraud and can't wait to see the images that India produces. Maybe they'll be as good as Israel's. Who knows? I had no clue India was even going to the moon. But get your P-1000s ready for the landing that will occur on the 12th. And you can see the landing spot here in detail. Keep your cameras focused on that. You might be able to see a glimmer of light reflecting off of the foil. But we will most likely not be able to see anything because nothing is going there in the first place. But this will all be taking place on April 11th. I'm not sure the exact time. I'll have to look into that. But before we go, I wanted to share real quick our backup channel I just created. I only have a few videos on there, and the channel is called Confound the Wise, and I've decided to give it a different name that doesn't have the Flat Earth title in it, simply because I know what kind of images come to mind when you share our videos with other people and they see that channel name. They automatically don't watch them, most likely because they have the same impressions of their mind of how dumb we are, just like we thought when we were looking into this, that those people have to be high or some sort of new age stoner movement going on. So decided to remove that name, put our videos out there, and I'm going to be slowly uploading one at a time and try to get the better ones before they're gone for good, if that were to happen. I do believe this channel has been kept safe from harm. This is one door that is opened that is not ready to be closed yet, so definitely some more people to wake up here. But again, if you have any concerns and would like a safety net, go ahead and subscribe to that channel. If not, that's okay. If things were to happen, you know where to find us. But again, as I always say, you guys are a beloved creation of the Most High. Thank you for being awesome. We're so glad you found us and that we can fellowship here. Feel free to ask us any questions anytime. We'll see you around. God bless.